Hi, my name is Bhagwan Chowdhry. I am a professor at ISB. Today I'm speaking with a colleague of mine who also teaches at ISB, Professor Prachi Deuskar.
Hello.
We are thinking about the IAS reform. There has been a lot of talk about reforming the way IAS works, and there is quite a bit of agreement that something needs to be done, but people are not quite sure exactly what needs to be done. So, Prachi, tell us a little bit about what the issue with IAS is. The IAS, when they are admitted, they are a young, bright lot. Is that right?
Yes, very young, in their 20s, and they are inducted into the service, highly motivated bunch
Yeah,
who are presumably there because they want to make a difference.
right. Okay. So this is one of the very coveted positions.
Yeah.
People talk about their sons and daughters-in-law having sat for the IAS exam, let
Yes,
alone
yes.
selected. Okay, so yes, it works very well in the sense that you get really bright set of people who get selected for this program,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them stay committed, and some of them do great work. But for others, it doesn't quite work. Why is that?
Yeah. There can be a bunch of issues. One possibly is that the same level of motivation and commitment does not survive the rigors of the job, the frictions, the politics. Maybe there are some problems because of, once you get into uh, the daily routines of raising a family. But it could also be that simply the skills required to do the job don't keep pace for many people
Yeah.
with what they have.
Okay. So there are a number of reasons. One is the monetary compensation is not very high. And a lot of these young, bright students go in and they find that their colleagues who did MBAs and they became doctors or engineers are making 10 times or maybe 100 times
Mhm.
as much as they are. So when you start to raise your family, that starts to matter. And maybe
Mhm.
the idealism starts to wane a little bit in front of all these difficulties.
Yeah.
So what happens then?
So some people do leave the service. They decide to do something else. But the default is that whether you are a good match or not, whether you continue to be a good match or not, you stay
In
in
the
the service.
Okay.
And we think that needs to change.
So that creates a problem because now you have
Yeah.
people who are committed and good, but then you
Yeah.
have people who are not so appropriate, but they are entrenched. Okay.
Correct.
So we thought about some ideas.
Yeah.
What is the idea? What do you think we should do?
So we think that there should be a periodic review, let's say every 7 years. And so at this review, both, it's a kind of like a pause, both the government and the officer can evaluate whether the match continues to be a good one. Okay? And if that is the case, then the officer would be offered a promotion or a posting suitable for the skills and experience. But if not, then we are saying that there should be exit options.
Okay.
And we are recommending two possible exit options.
Okay.
And so the basically the government will say, okay, you are fit to be promoted or for another posting. And if not, you can take one of these two. One could be get an admission into a very reputed university anywhere in the world.
Okay.
This could be a PhD, MBA, Masters in Public Policy, Okay? And if you get an admission, then government will pay for your education. There's a fully funded degree.
So it's an
So
incentive.
that, and
It's
it's
an
an
incentive.
incentive. And after completing the degree, the officer is free to do whatever he or she wants to do.
Okay.
I think the other exit option is even more interesting. That's about the officer starting own venture. Okay? And government can provide seed capital for this venture.
Okay. All right. How much seed capital?
And
Right.
yeah. And so, and we are saying that this seed capital should be managed and the venture should be selected by professional investors like venture capitalists or angel investors. Okay? Their guidance will make sure that the venture has the best possible chance of success, because these are high risk activities.
Yeah.
We want to have the officers the best chance that they can get.
So they're smart people. Combined with people who actually know how ventures work, it has a good chance of succeeding.
Correct.
Right. And the government will provide a seed capital, sufficient seed capital, like 1 crore maybe, right?
Right. Okay.
So that's
And so the
sufficient.
idea,
So the
yeah,
so the
yeah,
so the exit option is very attractive. That after
correct.
7 years you can leave with 1 crore, start up your own business, or you can get admission to a program which is fully funded. So that's about 200,000, 250,000, about 1 crore as well.
Yeah,
Both of them give you an option to actually do something else in life that you might be better suited to do.
right.
Okay, excellent. Now, some of this is already happening. I mean, IAS officers I know do go and get PhDs and other
Yeah,
degrees elsewhere. What is
yeah.
different that you're suggesting?
So right now, the choice is always with the officer. But what we are saying, the choice should also be with the government.
Okay, so here's an exit option. You leave, you leave. You're not coming
Yeah,
back. Your job is
correct.
not yours. Okay.
Yeah,
So that opens up possibility of inducting other people who
yeah,
didn't come to the IAS route, could also be inducted lateral induction, which the Prime Minister has in fact started. Is that right?
absolutely. And that can be expanded even at the entry level. Suitable candidates can be recruited from top masters programs, for example, depending upon the need of the
I
job.
I see. So you're saying even at the entry level, rather than have entry only through this entrance exam, you could take people who are experts in, say, medical field or engineering or
Correct.
some other field. They could be inducted through these other programs as well. So we are
Yeah.
making the pool really bigger. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So the entry
Right.
pool is much bigger, and there's a lot of exit, which means after every 7 years you have a chance to take more people inside.
Yeah.
Uh, so in fact, the number of people you select in the beginning can be a much bigger number. Rather than
Absolutely.
180 or 200 or so every year, maybe we can expand it to 1,000 a year or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that will give us a better pool, a larger pool for sure.
Yeah.
And you're saying after 7 years, they will self-select into either continuing or not continuing.
Correct.
Okay. Um, so these are both suggestions based on incentives, and that's why we
Mm-hmm.
seem to like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is there evidence from the field that you and I have studied that this might work?
Yes. Yes. So in corporate governance, for example, there's lot of evidence of use of what are called golden parachutes. Okay? So executives that are employed, but the company wants to change the leadership, then the existing executives are given these very attractive severance packages.
I see.
Okay? And that they're willing to leave accepting that because that is better for them as well rather than continuing in a job that is not a good fit for them anymore.
So this solves the entrenchment problem.
Right.
Managers don't stick around and say, we are not leaving because you're being
Hmm.
attractive for them to leave. So it's better
Right.
for them, but it is also better for the corporation because they get to replace them with new managers who might be better.
Right.
So you are saying
Correct.
the same thing can happen with the government for civil services as well.
Yeah.
So incentives work, and we think that people are people. People respond to incentives. So this may also happen with this field.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think these are some good ideas that
Yeah.
we are starting with a bigger pool. You don't have to commit your life to it. You can try. So more people will be willing to try. And
Absolutely.
they will try out and see if this is what they want to do rest of their lives or not. But or
Right.
not is an attractive option too.
Yes.
Can we repeat this every 7 years?
I think that would be an excellent idea, because in this dynamic world, needs of the job may change over time, and so it is a good idea to kind of evaluate it periodically, and same set of exit options can be offered at each point.
So both options should look relatively good. So exit shouldn't seem like a bad idea. It should seem like an attractive idea.
Right. So at later stages of the career, an exit option of early retirement can also be
Can
added.
be used, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So we think this solution we are providing based on incentives has a chance to succeed because you may get a buy-in from the IAS establishment itself. It's very hard to make change if the establishment itself is against the idea. But if
Right.
this idea has enough attractiveness, just like for corporations, golden parachutes
Hmm.
and severance package does, this might actually be welcome by the
Right.
so
Yeah.
we are curious to learn what the IAS establishment thinks about it, and we are happy to learn what the government thinks about it. So, the Prime
Absolutely.
Minister, please think about this and let us know whether this is something we can pursue. Prachi, thank you very much. And we do have an op-ed piece coming out soon that discusses these ideas.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Bhagwan.